So far we have looked at creating functions using the sum. We use the mean, the max, the count, and we did a couple of other calculations where we found the net pay, and in this sheet we did some cross sheet calculations. We worked with percentages. Now I want to introduce us to a function that could be very useful, which is the if function. Is a logical function that is used to evaluate a condition and give us a value if it is true, and another alternative value if the value is to false. So I've gone ahead to create this sheet here, so you could just pause the video there and read this sheet so you can follow along. Basically what this sheet is about is we have some employee information here, and some employee information here, and then we have some what we want to do. We're going to use the if function on three different examples here. If an employee sales is up to, let me format this to currencies. So if an employee sales is up to the bonus, the hurdle for an employee to be eligible for a bonus is 20,000. So if your sales has exceeded 20,000 or at 20,000, you are entitled to a $500 bonus. So let us evaluate this and see which of the employees qualify for this. Now, to do this, we go to the formulas tab here, and let us look at some logical functions there. So you see we have and, else, and, false, if, error, if any, not, and the rest of them. So we're going to use the if function. So when you click on that, you have this pop up here. So the logical test we're trying to do here is to see if the figures, your sales figures, are greater than. So we have the sales figure, is it greater than or equals to 20,000? And instead of typing 20,000, better we use the cell reference 20,000. And remember, we want this to be our only reference, so we're going to make it an absolute reference here, so it doesn't move to the next cell when it's doing this. So it doesn't move to the next cell when it's doing its evaluation. Okay, F4. Now what value do we want if it's true? Okay, greater than or equals to here. Take notes. So we say C7, this greater than or equals to this 20,000, and we use the F4 to make it an absolute reference, or you can manually put the dollar sign behind the C and the dollar sign behind the 15. So the value if true for this particular one, we want to, if it is true, we want to see true, and if it is false, we want to see false. So let us look at this. Seems okay. Press OK. So this particular person has 20,000, so obviously he's going to get a bonus. Can use the autofill feature and click here, and we can see that this person has 19,000. It's not up to 20,000, so you're not eligible. This has 32,000, so you're eligible. The other two are not up to 20, so they are not eligible. In the same vein, we can, instead of using true or false, we can decide to use some other values. For example, in this place, let's say we want to reference the same thing that we did here, and we want to see if it's greater than or equals to this same cell reference using the absolute, and then I want to add a string like yes, or if it's false, I add no. And if I OK this, see this person is eligible and this person is eligible. Harry and Mike are eligible, the rest are not. So normally you might not need to do this this way. I just wanted to show you that okay, you can have true or false values, you can have some custom definitions there, just like we had yes or no here. So let us input their bonus amounts here. So now we're saying if we check and this person is more than 20,000, their bonus amount should be given to them. So the same thing that we did, our if statement, if it is greater than or equals to this, and absolutely reference that. So the value, if true, we want it to be this, and we need to absolutely reference that too, because we don't want it to change. So we do the F for value if false is 0, and then we OK that, and this person is going to get an amount, the bonus amount of $500. And if we autofill, we see that this guy also gets this. So let me just format this correctly to give me a currency. So we see that only Mike and Henry gets only Mike and Henry will be getting their bonus, because they are the only ones that have passed the threshold for the bonus hurdle. So this is just a pretty neat example of how if functions come to life in your Excel worksheet. So one more thing I want to bring to our attention is how to use named references. Now, remember in an earlier part of this video, we did some cross sheet calculation where we referenced these cells here in this sheet, in this place. So we're using this from, you can see we have sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 1. So now, what if I want to reference this, but instead of knowing the exact sheet, I just want to have a name for that sheet. So for this calculation that happens here, which is this sum, I can define a name for it. So to do that, come to your formula tab and come here, and then you click on define name. So for that place, I just want it to be my January total. And then is total expenses. Let me add a comment for January, and I'll OK that. I can also do the same thing for, let me open this so it shows all the time. I can also do the same thing for February, and make this February, and do this for March also. March. Okay. So now let's go to another point of let me put it in one view so you can see what's happening. But we can also do this from another sheet. To do this, obviously the same way we do our references from itself, start with the equal to sign. But now, if you notice, immediately I put the equal to sign here. The equal to sign here, and you see that I'm trying to define a formula, and you see that everything else is grayed out. So I can define, I come to this tab here where I have this using formula. When I click on drop down, you see I have January, February, and March. So let me select January, and then I click enter. What do we have here? The same figure that we have here. If I want to do for February, so I have February there, same thing as you can see we have here. I can also do for March, and make this March, and we have this here. Now this also works across sheets. So January, I have this for January, I have February, and I have March here. So you see the same figures that we have here. Look at it, it's the same figures that we have here. So we're able to reference a cell, use named references, reference a cell from the same sheet and from another sheet.